another section of the crowd partying here at Rosehill for the enjoyment of racing here on 1999, the Daily Telegraph Rosehill Guineas Day. And one more race to come up. The Fisher and Paykel Stakes is next, race 5. And after that, of course, the big one, the Rosehill Guineas. And at the moment, Dignity Dancer is at nearly prohibitive odds on the tote at $1.10. Arena is second favourite at $5, all 4-1. Lawyer was scratched in controversial circumstances yesterday. Sky Heights at $21. Able Master 46. Ernest 46. Infatuated 65. Gee, should be longer than that. And Peppermint should be a lot longer than $87. Of course, the hot pot is Dignity Dancer. He seems to be the best 3-year-old we've had in some time. He won the Triple Crown in Melbourne, the first to do that. His owner, Keith Biggs, who's owned so many great horses, including Doremus, says that money just can't buy Dignity Dancer. He's had plenty of offers for it, but here is the horse who, as a yearling, well, they couldn't sell him. And then as an older horse, they're knocking back millions. Here's the story.
Nothing sorts racing's heavyweights from its would-bes like a big offer for a rising star. Back in January, owner Keith Biggs was listening to 7 figures for Dignity Dancer.
Did you have to talk Keith out of selling him?
A couple of times I've had to talk him out. You know, he's had some very extravagant offers for this horse, and you know, I mean, when you're talking any gelding and they're starting to offer you over $2 million, you obviously, you know, those sort of offers have to be considered. And we discussed a couple of sale offers, and I told him I'd win $2 million with him before the end of the autumn.
The Spring Champion Stakes field on the bend.
The 7-figure offer and Bill Mitchell's response were a while off on Epsom Day last year. From 4 starts, Dignity Dancer had barely paid for its keep, an issue forever forgotten with one record-breaking burst of speed.
For a run, Dignity Dancer had raced to the front on top of the rise. Dignity Dancer burst clear, 2.5 lengths in front of Lawyer. Then
when he won the Champion Stakes in Sydney, we knew we had something pretty special. And he's just, and I agree with Billy and the boys. You know, what this bloke's going to do as a 4-year-old is just mind-boggling. I just think, you know, he's still immature, he's a bit of a kid, but I just think whatever he does, he'll race in the Rosehill Guineas now, and he'll run in the Derby, and he'll put him away and we'll bring him back for the Cox and probably head to Japan with him.
Best known to the racing public as a 1/3 owner of Doremus, Keith Biggs had a mare and was owed the services of Zabeel. To use a quaint social term, the offspring's mother married up, and so unattractive was Dignity Dancer that no sale would have him. Biggs sent the horse to Bill Mitchell.
He was a lovely mover. Funny thing, a guy on the rides, the rides for us up at the farm, we got a 7-furlong uphill run there, and he said he'd never ridden a horse that went up as easily as this horse did. And as you say, he wasn't much to look at, didn't look that strong, he was growing. We really didn't train him to.
After that triumph last year at Randwick, with Melbourne's Spring Carnival beckoning, Mitchell and Biggs made another decision many saw as brave. The horse was spelled.
He was as skinny as a kangaroo dog. He was lean and he was tired. He was in fact, when we took him after that race in the Champion Stakes, he went home and just like 4 days, he never got up, he just lied on the paddock. He was buggered.
With a new year and Jimmy Cassidy in the saddle, Dignity Dancer went to Caulfield for the Autumn Stakes. He did it the hard way, going wide.
Side Parastream in front. Dignity Dancer with a job to do to get there is lifting Parastream, destruction point. Dignity Dancer, they hit the line. Dignity Dancer.
2 weeks later, Moonee Valley hosted the first leg of the VRC's Triple Crown for 3-year-old stayers. It was Dignity Dancer against Mossman in a tough battle on a tight track.
Dignity Dancer kicking like a tiger. Mossman trying hard. Dignity Dancer hung out but won.
Leg 2 of the treble was the AAMI Classic back at Caulfield. Jimmy Cassidy lost his irons 200 metres from home, literally hanging on to go one step closer to the crown.
Mossman on the outside, Dignity Dancer's under the whip. Danska's having a rally through on the inside, but Dignity Dancer puts his stamp on the race and wins it 3/4.
The first 2 races were difficult. He didn't handle Moonee Valley for a start, and then there was circumstances of protest. And then at Caulfield, the race really wasn't run to suit him again. He was up doing the donkey works 3 from home, up outside the leader. And then my iron trouble about the 200, so He probably didn't win as convincingly at Caulfield as he probably should have, but that kept a bit of pressure off me in one respect.
But it's hard to imagine the whole Mitchell stable not feeling the heat of Coronation Day for the Triple Crown. Once again, Clary and Shane were at Flemington with Mossman, intent on hijacking the Cadbury Guineas, the only Group 1 of the series.
Mossman with Dye dictating his terms, nearly a length in front from Sky Heights and Greenstone Charm.
Dye took Mossman to the front. Typically, the Mitchells and the Biggs remained impassive, waiting for the pumper to release Dignity's big finish.
Mossman's a neck in front. Dignity Dancer's got on terms with him. They're going stride for stride. Dignity Dancer's got his head in front. There's a pot of gold for him at the end of the rainbow. Yes, he'll do it. He gets the Triple Crown. Dignity Dancer. 3/4 Mossman.
It was a popular victory, and not just because he was favourite. Not the types to do cartwheels and too seasoned to engage in I told you so's, Dignity Dancer's team agreed the crown was won with patience and horse management, as much as pure speed.
I just found over the years of racing, I've had horses for 35 years, that patience tells the story. And you've got a horse like him. And the best thing we did was put him away, brought him back. We're not racing against the good horses yet, but we will be shortly, and we'll beat them. There's no doubt about that. Arena and Lawyer, they can, I don't care what, all due respects to Arena and Lawyer, we'll beat them.
Thanks for coming.
With prize money nudging 1.82 million, Bill Mitchell's promise to his owner is as good as kept. After the transfer of General Nadine to a rival stable, the point is made. It had nothing to do with training ability.
I lost the General. That was I was disappointed in that, and it's sort of part and parcel of racing. You know, it just seems to happen sometimes. But you know, you're always sort of got a bunch of young horses coming through, and you never know which one might be the one.
I reckon he knows which one's the one now.
He certainly does know which one's the one. He looked cool and calm, didn't he there, Billy Mitchell? But I actually spoke to him this morning, and he's pretty tight, and he was before the Australian Guineas down at Flemington, and he's tight again today up here on his home turf, I suppose, back here in Sydney, the horse. But he knows there's a real race on today.
And Billy confident?
Billy is confident. The horse is 100%. He's travelled up well from Melbourne after a tough campaign, but he took all before him there, and they expect him to do the same again in Sydney.
Keith Biggs sure is confident.
Yeah, he's always confident.
I know that. Okie dokie. Well, that's the story of Dignity Dancer, the favourite for the Daily Telegraph Rosehill Guineas. A break and then more on Sports Saturday. Well, from Might and Power to the Fisher and Paykel Stakes here at Rosehill on Rosehill Guineas Day. Let's look at the TAB. Right, number 1, Markham is at $18, Simone at $17, Steel Phoenix at $6.40, Green Marla at $25. For the moment is the firmer, $5.20 into $4.70 and will firm more. Lucky Bear out to $14. Kevin Moses is the new rider for Lucky Bear, replacing Alan Robinson. Royal Voyage at $3.60, Pure Steel at $17. We go over the page to TAB number 9. And it is Racing Writer at $43, Expect a Star $25 and $5.30 for Breakdance. Right, Glenn Boss is the man of the moment. He's riding Royal Voyage. Let's see what he's got to say.
Another arrow to the bow. You're on Royal Voyage. Good win last start at Flemington.
Yeah, this horse is in good form. He's a nice Danehill colt. He looks like he only lightly raced, and he seems to be getting better with racing. He's an easy horse to ride, obviously, because he takes up a nice position in the running, and he can obviously had a good turn of foot at the end of his races, so it makes him pretty hard to beat.
And that, of course, was Darren Beedman, who was interviewing Glenn Boss. The Fisher and Paykel, this race is used to be called the Sky High Stakes, but Fisher and Paykel are sponsoring it this year. Number 7 in centre screen, of course, is Royal Voyage as we look at the market movers. Royal Voyage has got out in the market from $3.30 to $3.60. Might ease a little more yet. For the moment, as I said, was $5.20, now into $4.60. Breakdance solid, $5.50, $5.40. Steel Phoenix from the John Size stable, pretty solid too, into $6.20 and a definite chance. Lucky Bear has eased a couple of points, and Pure Steel has stayed solid around about the $17 mark, $18 into $17. They're going into line. Simon, Royal Voyage was your tip?
Yeah, he certainly is. Look, I think he's a pretty good horse. He's just below the really good 3-year-olds, such as we're going to see in the Guineas this afternoon. But look, his form in Melbourne has been pretty good. They've taken the blinkers off him today. His win at Flemington last start was a very strong one. He led all the way and then spinted away from them at the 400 or 500 metres. So I expect him just to have that touch more brilliance against a lot of these stayers, that he should be able to put a length or two on them turning for home, and he'll be pretty hard to run down.
Okay, number 8 there was Pure Steel. That was Green Marla, just took his place in the barrier, and Expect a Star, who gets back and finishes on, is the horse there in the black and white chest band on top of mauve or lilac colours. Right, he takes his place. They're all ready for the Fisher and Paykel. Here's Terry Bailey.
Started moving to his platform. Fisher and Paykel Stakes listed race. Gates are back and they're racing. Jumped in a good line. Royal Voyage won the kick. Simone jumped well. Breakdance showing speed. Steel Phoenix 4 out and Lucky Bear 5 out moving forward. Pure Steel is trapped very wide. He's moving up as Simone uses for the moment on the fence, and Green Mailer with the black colours going forward. Markham third last from Racing Rider and 2 lengths to Expect a Star. On settling down, Steel Phoenix went to the front, pulling against the rider, led from Pure Steel. On the fence, Royal Voyage appears to have settled nicely as Green Mailer strides around them 3 wide. Lucky Bear the centre. Just over a length away is Breakdance being passed by Markham, who's going up for the moment on the fence. They were followed well back then by Racing Rider Simone and Expect a Star last of all. Green Mailer's put on the speed at the 1200. Went out to lead 2 lengths to Steel Phoenix, and a length away Markham. Cassidy sending him forward. A length further back Pure Steel on the outside of Royal Voyage, being given a cosy run on the fence. A length and a half for the moment, then Lucky Bear. They were followed well back in the field by Breakdance. Racing right to the inside from Expect a Star, and Simone's last of all. Sweeping down the side of the track, racing to the 850, and Green Mailer bowls along in front. Steel Phoenix a length away. Markham third. Fourth the inside is Royal Voyage. They were followed by Pure Steel for the moment centre field inside Lucky Bear. Just over a length to Racing Rider. Then came Breakdance, Expect a Star, and Simone has been shuffled right out to the tail as they race to the bend. 500 out. Green Mailer in front of Steel Phoenix. Markham's been wide. He's 3 deep and about to attack the 2 front runners. A length away on the fence, Royal Voyage. There's a gap there if he's good enough. They were followed by Pure Steel. Lucky Bear to the outside, and for the moment further back, Breakdance under pressure. 250 out. Royal Voyage getting this inside run, dashing quickly. He's raced to the front now with Steel Phoenix. Oh, Royal Voyage cannoned into Steel Phoenix, ran out. For the moment's got the run, finishing hard Pure Steel. It's Steel Phoenix coming after Royal Voyage. For the moment the inside, Royal Voyage in front. For the moment lunging, not sure. Very tight. Royal Voyage for the moment, nothing in it. Heads are out of unison. Steel Phoenix third, but we're going to hear a heap more. They were followed then making ground by Racing Rider, Green Mailer, Simone, Breakdance, Lucky Bear, Expect a Star. Markham well back, and Pure Steel near the tail.
I doubt if we'll hear much more, because he did come out on Steel Phoenix Royal Voyage, but he didn't cannon into him. He may have balked him just a tad, I feel. But it's very close here between Royal Voyage. You see him shifting ground here. Now let's line it up. He goes across. He definitely takes Steel Phoenix's running, but look, they only brushed. They didn't really bump. And I think that's quite relevant. But we've got to line up this finish between For the Moment lunging at Royal Voyage right on the line. Now that's For the Moment over on the rails in the orange cap, and Royal Voyage, of course, in the blue cap, going straight now, and Steel Phoenix in third place. If there is a protest, of course, it'd be Steel Phoenix against Royal Voyage. They never interfered with For the Moment at all. Right, now as the heads come down, where's the post? For the Moment got down low there. Now Royal Voyage goes down. For the Moment at number 5 has won the race. For the Moment has got there just in time to snare victory from Royal Voyage, with 3 Steel Phoenix in third place. Right, that is official. 5, 7 and 3. No doubt Royal Voyage cost himself victory by running all over the place. If he'd have gone straight, he would have certainly beaten For the Moment, as he's only been beaten centimetres when they've hit the line. Right, Royal Voyage still in front there. For the Moment getting up inside him, and Steel Phoenix charging down the outside for third. If there happened to be a protest, it'd only be affecting Quinella and Trifecta players. It'd be third against second. There could be. He did take his running, and he's only got beaten a half a neck. But at the moment, the numbers are 5, 7 and 3. For the Moment, 420 and 170. If you've backed her, you're sweet. It's decided. For Royal Voyage paid $1.50, and Steel Phoenix from the John Size stable, turning in a great run, paid $2.20. Another victory for leading jockey Larry Cassidy, who will ride Arena in the big one, the next race, the Rosehill Guineas, and of course trained by Gai Waterhouse. Simon O'Donnell, he threw the race away, Royal Voyage.
Yeah, he certainly did. As I said before, he had the blinkers on in Melbourne. They've taken him off today. He probably thought he over-raced a little at Flemington when he won his last start, but probably today that little bit of inexperience has cost him.
Yeah, it certainly has. Gai Waterhouse is just going to join us now, and it was a great win by For the Moment, and I reckon you're still smiling, kiddo.
Yeah, am I ever? Right from my tippy toes up.
Were you confident today?
Yes, I was. She's done everything right, and she's a very gutsy little mare. She ran third in the Ansett here, which is a year ago next week. She ran 5th in the Oaks. She's a very, very good mare.
You said she was gutsy, Gai. She had to be gutsy in that last 100. Yes. That was there to be won, and she wanted to do it.
Well, she had every excuse to get beaten, but she found the line.
What about Juggler later in the day in the Rider?
Ooh.
There's a tip and a half. I think it's time we took a break on Sports Saturday. Well, there's the finish again, Simon. Royal Voyage, we just picked it up here. He's on the rails in the light blue cap. He comes out, veers across now, affects Steel Phoenix on his outside there, and then getting along the rails saying thank you very much is Larry Cassidy on For the Moment, and For the Moment gets the prize.
Yes, it was a real bit of inexperience, wasn't it, from Royal Voyage, but deserved win For the Moment. She really found the line well, paying $4.20 and $1.70, $1.50 for Royal Voyage, and Steel Phoenix was third, paying $2.20.
Well, the big race at Moonee Valley today is, of course, the Moonee Valley Oaks, and we have the early totes there. Grand Archway is in from $3.50 to $3.40. Sunline, the clear favourite, at $1.80. Rosa War, third favourite, at $5.20. St Clemens Bell at $20. My Jasper at $18. Pukahina at $63. And Ills at $71. And the big form line, of course, into the Moonee Valley Oaks was the AV CUNY Stakes at Flemington a fortnight ago, where Sunline beat Rosa War. Here's the action.
As they came to the 300 metres, and Sunline a length and a half in front. Childs looking a bit confident here. He now asks the big mare to go, and she leads by 2 lengths to Rosa War, and then St Clemens Bell, Lady Elsie. But it's Sunline in front with 100 metres to go. 2 lengths to Rosa War, trying hard, but Sunline is finding enough, and the champion filly back to her best form. Sunline beat Rosa War 3 lengths away third.
Now, Simon, I think a very relevant thing is that was 1,600 metres. Rosa War's been beaten a lip in the Oaks, which is 2,500. We move up to 2,040, which is new ground for Sunline. Can she hold off Rosa War at the extra couple of hundred metres, extra 400 metres?
That's the big question. I mean, that's the question on everyone's lips. I mean, can Grand Archway come back from a terrible run last start? Not overly well ridden, but also an injury. And can she come back and really fire up? Because really, I think the race really should be between Sunline, not Rosa War, and Grand Archway. So Grand Archway and Sunline are probably the two. Rosa War is in there, but if Grand Archway runs up to the form she can do, who knows?
It's certainly one of the most exciting fillies races in a long time, and your selection is?
Well, I'm going to stick with Sunline. I just think she's a game, front-running horse. She's taken all before her so far. I think she deserves a crack at it today.
I agree 100%. Sunline first. That's the big one in Melbourne. The big one in Sydney, of course, is the Daily Telegraph Rosehill Guineas. And here's a tote update. Wow, Dignity Dancer still very, very short on the tote. $1.10, that's 10's on. Arena, $4.70. Lawyer is scratched. Sky Heights, third pick at $20. Then 44 for Able Master. 45 for Ernest, 66 for Infatuated, and $87 for Peppermint. This is the battle of the brothers. Jimmy Cassidy on Dignity Dancer, Larry Cassidy on Arena. I spoke with Jimmy earlier in the week.
Every time you've rode him, it just had the perfect run the whole time. Today, it looks a little bit tricky with those couple of 33 to 1 shots or more in the race. How do you see it happening?
Well, I think the main thing, Darren, is being out of the way of the 33 to 1 chances. There's only one other hope in the race, I believe, and that's Arena. Sky Heights I don't think is up to these two courses, Dignity Dancer and Arena. So, look, my main worry in winning any Group 1 race, whether there's 18 runners or 4 runners, is having a trouble-free run and giving him room to put their legs down. And if he does that today, he'll just beat him and beat him easy, I think.
You come out this about 5 foot tall and lost 4 or 5 stone, have you? If that was you talking to Jimmy Cassidy, I'll fly naked to Bermuda.
Get on your plane, I was just using a squeaky voice. Here's Darren Beedman again, this time with Larry Cassidy.
Well, Larry, you're on Arena in the Daily Telegraph Rosehill Guineas. Brotherly love out there? Any competition? Anything from childhood days that were done in the bedroom?
Geez, that doesn't sound too good, does it? No brotherly love out on the track, Darren. It's very competitive between me and Jimmy, and may the best horse and horseman win.
Yeah. Come like midweek, obviously compete against each other throughout the week and on numerous occasions over the year. But come Group 1 time and you're both on the main chances, does that affect your game plan at all, or does that make you just work that little bit harder?
Not really. I'll just go out and just ride my own race, and like I done last week on fortnight ago on Arena, and I know what I've got underneath me. He's a very good horse. Obviously, Dignity Dance is a great horse as well, but certainly think my bloke's up to beating him.
He's over the last, say, 50 metres of the race the other day, he just seemed to sort of want that last little bit. Will you be trying to hit the front too early, or just save the run for the last minute?
Yeah, I think I might just, without sort of saving him up, I'll be more trying to sort of get to Dignity Dancer probably in the last 100 metres if it works that way. I just think that when Arena gets there too early, he just tends to sort of look around and gawk a little bit, which he done last week. He's a very lazy sort of horse, and he does what he wants.
Well, of course, Dignity Dancer hasn't been racing Arena and Lawyer, and who's to say he wouldn't have been bowling them over every week? He did in the spring.
Yeah, but there's plenty of, with those tactics that have taken him on so far and want to just sit off him and have the last crack at him. Well, when they have the last crack at him, he finds another half length, then another half length. Now, he doesn't win by long distances, but he does enough to break their heart. And I think Dignity Dancer's going to do the same thing today. Arena's going to have to watch out.
You're preaching to the converted.
Thank you.
I agree with you. OK, but the next big one coming up, of course, is the Moonee Valley Oaks, and you'll see that after this break on Sports Saturday.
Coming up on Sports Saturday, Arena and Dignity Dancer head an all-star field in the Rosehill Guineas. Plus, we'll find out whether the game galloper Kidman's Cove can make it 5 in a row in the Ryder Stakes. We'll talk to world champion Michael Klim at the Telstra Australian Swimming Championships in Brisbane. All that still to come right here on Sports Saturday.
lovely scene from Rosehill Gardens. But we're now going to switch to Melbourne for the Moonee Valley Oaks, and let's have a look at the latest on the tote prices on Supertab. $3.80 for number 1 Grand Archway, $1.80 for Sunline, $3.90 for number 3 Rose of War, then $22 St Clemens Bell, $16 My Jasper, $85 Puckahina, and Ills at $88. Simon, 5 to 4 on Sunline. Does that appeal to you as we see her girth being tightened there?
I think anything better than even money is a fair bet on her. Look, she's such a talented filly, but as long as she stays the trip, and I have no reason to think she wouldn't, I think she can win the race.
Well, Greg Childs is being legged back up aboard it, just a touch of odds on, as we said, 5 to 4 on Supertab, and as the other fillies start to take their place in the barrier for this exciting race. And the market movers, Sunline has stayed exactly solid at $1.80, incidentally only $1.70 in New South Wales. Rose of War $5.20 into $3.80, there's a move. Grand Archway $3.40 out to $3.90, a battle for second favouritism. In New South Wales, Rose of War is clearly second favourite. My Jasper at 16 in from 18, St Clemens Bell 20 to 23, and Puckahina at $92. Well, I think most of them should have taken their places in line now as Sunline joins the barrier. That's 4 of the 7 runners have found their spot. My Jasper, I think it is there in the yellow and the dark blue. It is indeed. She's found her position, and just 2 more to take their place. Number 7 is Ills, and number 4, the last one along, will be St Clemens Bell. Right, she's about to take her place. Tactics will be interesting. I think Sunline will go to the front, Simon.
Yeah, I think she will, and try and dictate terms and be assured of running the trip.
Here's Greg Miles for the call of the Lone Star Moonee Valley Oaks.
And on their way now, and Sunline began brilliantly in the middle of the line, ahead of Rose of War and Grand Archway dropping in early. Isles Away fast is going into second early, but Sunline has no trouble in coasting to the post the first time, and under a tight rein by Greg Childs leads Isles. 3 lengths away third Grand Archway, followed by Rose of War, happy to sit well back early. Puckahina next, followed by My Jasper, and St Clemens Bell ridden from the tail out to the 1600, and Sunline, well, Greg Childs must be giggling at this point. She's settled pretty well, and she's 2 lengths in front and jogging along in front. Running second is Isles, 3 lengths back is Grand Archway, and a lot of them again staying well away from the fence. My Jasper's out 3 wide around Rose of War, Puckahina on the inside, and St Clemens Bell's last of all. Giles stole a look over his shoulder as he negotiates the turn at the 1200 metres. He doesn't look to be going all that fast. He's 2 lengths to Isles and 2 lengths to Grand Archway. A length and a half to My Jasper out 3 deep. Rose of War in the centre and Puckahina on the fence, and back last of all is St Clemens Bell at the 1000 metres, and Sunline totally dictating the Oaks, leads by 2 lengths down the back. Isles is second, 2 lengths to Grand Archway, another length and a half away Rose of War on the inside of My Jasper. Puckahina second last, St Clemens Bell 10 from the leader. At the 800 metres now, and the champion New Zealand filly, Sunline comes down the side, 2 lengths to Isles. She hasn't had any pressure put on her yet. Now they quicken the tempo because Grand Archway and also My Jasper are starting quick runs at the school now, and Sunline's by 3/4 to Grand Archway. Can she stick on? In third placing then is My Jasper from Rose of War, but Childs slipped the favourite a little leather, and Sunline is going to scoot 2 lengths in front around the home turn. Grand Archway is trying hard, but it's on heart alone at this stage. Rose of War is a well back third, but it's all Sunline. The super filly from New Zealand's put 5 lengths on them. Childs has stolen it. Sunline's a champion, and Sunline cruises down to win the Lone Star Oaks.